I was standing there, staring at this huge guy in a uniform with a badge, and my mind just went completely blank. I had studied English for 10 years. I had the best grades in my class, but at that moment I couldn't even remember how to say hello.
Wait, are you talking about your first time landing in New York? At JFK?
Exactly. I stepped off that plane thinking I was ready for America. I thought, I've watched the movies, I've listened to the music, I've got this. But the second I hit the terminal, it was like a different planet. Everything was moving so fast, the signs were massive and the voices. Emily, everyone sounded like they were speaking at double speed.
Oh, I know that feeling so well. It like the classroom English we learn just evaporates the moment a real New Yorker starts talking to you. I remember when I first arrived, I was so focused on my grammar that I forgot to actually look where I was going. I almost walked into a luggage cart within 5 minutes.
It's overwhelming. I remember walking toward the customs area and my heart was just thumping. I saw the line for non-citizens and it looked like it was a mile long. By the time I got to the front, I was exhausted and sweating. The officer didn't even look up. He just barked, "Next!"
They can be so intimidating. They have that "don't mess with me" face. Did he ask you the big question?
He didn't even say it clearly. It sounded like one long blurry word. Was Perp's visit? I just stood there like a statue. He sighed, really loudly. "You know that New York sigh?" And said it again, slower this time. "What is the purpose of your visit?"
That the classic. What's the purpose of your visit? It's the one phrase every traveler should have tattooed on their arm. But honestly, even if you know the words, the pressure makes you forget the answer.
Exactly. I forgot the word vacation. I just said, I like New York. He looked at me for a long time, then he asked, "Where are you staying?" And my brain just froze again. I couldn't remember the name of my hotel. I had to dig through my backpack for what felt like 10 minutes to find the printout.
That is so awkward. I can imagine the line behind you getting longer and the people getting grumpier. You know, I had a similar issue. When I was asked where I was staying, I told the officer, "I am living in the hostel." He looked at me very suspiciously and asked if I had a work visa.
Oh no, the living versus staying trap. If you say you're living somewhere, it sounds like you've moved in permanently. For a trip, you always stay somewhere. It's temporary.
I learned that the hard way. I had to explain for 5 minutes that I was just a tourist. But Paul, after you finally got through customs, did you find your way out easily? JFK is like a maze.
I got completely lost. I followed a sign that said ground transportation because I wanted a taxi, but I ended up in a weird parking garage with no cars in it. I felt like I was in a horror movie. I finally saw a guy in a neon vest and tried to ask for help. I said, "Excuse me, where is the taxi?"
And let me guess, he answered at 100 miles per hour?
Faster. It sounded like you got to head out the doors, make a left and follow the low signs. I just blinked. My brain couldn't process it. I had to use the most important phrase I know. "Could you repeat that?"
Did he actually slow down?
Barely. I had to say, "Could you repeat that?" about 3 times. By the 3rd time, he just pointed at a door and walked away. I felt like such a tourist, Emily. It was humbling.
Don't feel bad. I still have to ask people to repeat themselves sometimes. But you know, "could you repeat that" is a bit of a textbook phrase, isn't it? I noticed that when I say it, people sometimes look a bit impatient.
You're right. It's grammatically perfect, but in a busy place like an airport, it can sound a bit formal. If it's loud and you're in a hurry, you can just say, "Sorry," with a rising tone, or, my favorite, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that."
I didn't quite catch that. I like that. It sounds like the problem is the noise or the speed, not my English ability. It's much more natural.
Exactly. It shifts the focus. Now, after I finally found the exit, I saw the taxi stand, but there were so many people shouting, "Taxi! Taxi!" And I wasn't sure if they were official.
Oh, you have to be careful. Those are the gypsy cabs. They'll charge you double. You have to find the official taxi stand with the yellow signs.
I figured that out eventually, but when I finally got into a real yellow cab, the driver asked, "Where to?" And I realized I didn't know how to give the address properly in English. I just pointed at my phone.
I did that too, but then I realized that drivers prefer it if you give them the cross streets, like 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. It makes you sound like a local.
Let's look at how we can upgrade some of the things people usually say when they first arrive. For example, Emily, if you're looking for a taxi, what's the first thing you'd say to a staff member?
Well, I used to say, I want to take a taxi to my hotel. Where is the taxi?
People will understand you, but at a bit level 1. To sound more natural, you could say, where can I catch a cab, or where the taxi stand?
Catch a cab. I love that. It sounds much more like something I'd hear in a movie. What about when you're talking to the driver? If I say, please take me to this address, is that okay?
It's okay, but you can just say, can you drop me off at, and then give the address. Drop me off is such a common phrasal verb for transportation.
Okay, can you drop me off at the Hilton on 54th? That sounds way better. Paul, let's try a little game. I'll say something in textbook English, and you give me the real American version.
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay, I'm at the information desk and I say, I am lost. Please help me to find the way out.
That sounds a bit like you're trapped in a dungeon. Try this. Excuse me, I'm trying to find the exit. Could you point me in the right direction?
Point me in the right direction. That great. Okay, how about this? I'm at the baggage claim and I can't see my suitcase. I say, my bag is not here. I am worried.
A bit dramatic. Try, my luggage hasn't come out yet. Do you know if there's another belt for this flight? Or simply, I think my bag might be missing.
Luggage instead of bag, and hasn't come out yet. Much more natural. One more. This is what I used to say when I didn't understand the fast-talking Americans. Your speed of speaking is very fast. Please speak slowly.
Oh, Emily, that might actually make a New Yorker a bit grumpy. It sounds like you're criticizing them. Instead, try, sorry, would you mind slowing down a bit? My English is a little rusty.
My English is a little rusty. I love that. It likes saying my English is a bit out of practice. It makes the other person want to help.
Exactly. Now, let's put all of this into a real-life scenario. Imagine I'm the customs officer, the grumpy one, and you've just landed at JFK. You're tired, but you're ready.
Okay, I'm putting on my confident traveler face. I've got my passport ready.
Next, passport, please.
Here you go. Good afternoon.
What's the purpose of your visit?
I'm here on vacation. I'm planning to stay for about 2 weeks to see the sights.
Where are you staying?
I'm staying at a hotel in Midtown, near Times Square.
You got the address?
Yes, at 234 West 42nd Street.
Fine. Anything to declare? Food, plants, large amounts of cash?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that last part.
I said, are you carrying more than $10,000 in cash?
Oh, no, definitely not. Just my credit cards and a little bit of pocket money.
All right. Welcome to New York. Next!
Phew, I made it. And I didn't even have to dig through my backpack for 10 minutes this time.
See? You used I didn't quite catch that perfectly. It slowed me down without making it awkward. And you were clear about staying at a hotel.
It really is all about those small shifts in phrasing. It takes the pressure off. I remember being so terrified of that customs booth, but now it just feels like the first step of the adventure.
That's the spirit. The airport is just the first hurdle. Once you get past that guy and catch your cab, the whole city is yours.
And hopefully, the cab driver doesn't talk as fast as the customs officer. Thanks for sharing that story, Paul. It's good to know that even you had a blank mind moment when you first arrived. It makes me feel much better about my own, could you repeat that, moments.
Honestly, we all have them. The key is just to keep moving and not be afraid to ask someone to point you in the right direction.
I'll definitely remember that next time I'm at JFK. Thanks for walking me through the chaos of the airport, Paul. I feel like I'm ready to handle the next what's the purpose of your visit, like a pro. See you next time, and hopefully, I won't get lost in any parking garages.